Ceiling fan blowing cold breeze on your body. I can't tell you really what it is, but you got it. Makeup in the morning, you got dresses in your closet, but you grab them tight, you in love with being modest.
All right, you guys, so next story up, the Blind Side drama. So you guys have heard about this. The story doesn't make much sense to me. I feel like there's still more to the story that we're not getting, but I'm going to tell you what I was able to read anyway. So you guys remember the movie The Blind Side? It came out in 2009, and it told the story about this kid, Michael Oher, I think is his last name. He was a foster kid. He was in the foster system. He was homeless. He didn't have any support of a family, but they knew that he had talent. He was a talented football player, and the family ended up bringing him in, adopting him, we were told, and guiding his life, in his career. Got him through high school, through college. He became a professional football player, which was the goal, I'm sure, and even became a Super Bowl winner. I think he played with the Baltimore Ravens when they won. So he's had a celebrated career. He's done well. And, we kind of attributed a lot of that success to the fact that this Tuohy, is that how you say their last name? Tuohy family had taken him in. Well, fast forward 20-something years later, 10 years and some change, about almost 15 years later, now Michael has some issues with the Tuohy family. He is saying now that they tricked him into signing over his life into a conservatorship, and they have taken money from him that he was righteously owed, okay? Now, of course, that is where there is some, that's where the differences lie. The family, of course, is saying that they absolutely did not steal any money from him, that he did not get tricked into signing this conservatorship, that he was very much aware of what was going on, that they were doing it only to try to help him and guide his life and his career. That they did not make all these millions of dollars from the Blind Side like he likes to think that they did, that they had all agreed. I think they said that they split it $100,000. Everybody in the family got $100,000 each from the movie studio. To me, that kind of sounds like he really should have got half, and then they should have split the other half, considering this was his story, but that's neither here nor there. They agreed on the $100,000. They're saying that's what they said that they did. But they're saying that he is now salty about the way that some things have gone in his own life, and now he feels like they owe him something when they don't. They say that they have not stolen from him. They've only guided his career and have only helped him. And that this is really just a shakedown because now the family has come into more money. Apparently the father of the family had a business, a very lucrative business. I don't know what it was, but he sold it. And he got millions and millions of dollars from this. So now they're saying that he is feeling like he should be getting some of that money. Now, somewhere in these last 15 years or so, their relationship has become estranged and has gone sour. And I guess that is when Michael has decided that he didn't quite make out the way that he would have liked to from the movie. Because he had a book that came out a few years afterwards, and he talked about he didn't like how he was portrayed in the movie. The movie made him seem like he was dumb. And he was like, I wasn't dumb. It's just that I was part of a system where, I didn't get like consistent education, and there were some obstacles there, and he wasn't like dumb, but they kind of made him seem like he was just like the dumb athlete, and it was like this white savior, the whole white savior complex of this white family coming in and helping this poor dumb black kid, and he's good enough to play football, so let's make sure we hone that skill. So that's kind of how he said that he felt from that. But they're saying that no, even when he wrote that book, he gave them money from the proceeds of his book, said that he split it with them and everybody had $14,000 out of the sale of that book. So yeah, it's strange. And now he's asking to be released from conservatorship, and I was just like, the man is in his 30s now. Why is he still under conservatorship? And when there was never anything wrong with him. Yes, he didn't have any parents, he was part of the foster system and everything, but the man, they trying to say that he wasn't able to guide his own life all the way up until now. Like, I didn't understand that, but apparently they still are conservatorship over him. They're saying that, you know, they would gladly get, you know, stop being the conservator for him, and if that's what he wants. But I was just like, why are they still doing that anyway? You know, so I guess he probably feels like, fuck, if I'm being, y'all taking care of my finances and my life, then hell, I need to be getting more money. I'm like your kid, so that means that you need to be giving me some of that money that y'all made. I don't know. The story is weird. It's just weird. I just had no idea that he was still under their control. But they say that they fighting him back, and they ain't fixing to give him no nothing, because he trying to say that they made, so they said that the movie made 309, I think they said over $300 million when it was in the box offices. So they're saying that, I mean, he's saying that they got more of that money. He's saying that they negotiated $300,000 or something like that, plus 2.5% of the back end money from the movie. So 2.5%, I did the calculations, and that's somewhere around 7 million, give or take some change. $7 million. So I guess that is the question that we are trying to figure out now. Did the family actually make 7 million off the back end of that, or what? He seems to think that they got more money and that he needs to get it. So, but yeah, I was just like, why are they still conservatorship over him? And he done moved on with his life. Like, this man is winning Super Bowls and everything. And y'all mean to tell me y'all still got to be in his business like that? He married, got 4 kids and everything. So, well, I think him and the wife have 2 together, and then she has some step kids. But I was just like, yeah, that don't make sense to me, that this grown man with a whole family is still under conservatorship for somebody. So yeah, they said they gonna let him go, but now that he's trying to sue him, you know, they gonna have to change up some stuff. What y'all think about that? Don't that story sound weird? Don't it feel like I'm missing something? If I am, y'all feel free to leave it in the comments, because I might have. But it don't make sense to me that he was still there. Now, everybody, this just goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. People mad at Sandra Bullock. She got her Oscar for playing the mother in the movie. People want Sandra Bullock to get, why? It's so stupid. Sandra Bullock has nothing to do with nothing. It was a fucking story. She was working a job. She was acting as that person. She has nothing to do with whether or not that family misled him or anything. You know, leave Sandra Bullock alone. Her husband just died. She ain't got time to be fucking around with y'all, these old dumbass accusations. So yeah, see how it's moving back, y'all. Sandra is fine. She don't need to give up her Oscar. Y'all need to be mad at the right people. You mad at the wrong people. Sandra ain't did nothing. It might be the Tuohy family, but maybe they didn't either. So we gonna see what comes out of this. Maybe he just need a few more dollars and didn't know how to ask him for it. I mean, he been pissed. They've been estranged for a while, so maybe this is his way of trying to get back in touch with him or something. I don't know. But anyway. That's it. Did I tell you guys also that he thought that he was adopted? See, that's the part that don't make sense to me. How do you not know that you wasn't adopted? He said he just recently found out that he wasn't adopted, that it was just under a conservatorship, and that he was devastated, heartbroken by this. I mean, it just seems like you would know if you were adopted or not. I mean, there's paperwork that you have to have. How do you get to be a full-grown adult? At some point, you are going to find out that you were adopted. If you're going to look at your birth certificate, anything, like, how do you not know that? So anyway, y'all, that story is weird. But like I said, when I know more about it, I'm going to let y'all know more.
Nobody giving interviews. I'm just saying I'm amused, but you ain't even flexing.
All right, you guys. guys, next story up. This is a pretty sad story. Virginia rapper Magoo, mama named him Melvin Barcliff. He was also known as the second half of the duo Timbaland and Magoo. He died the other day. Shockingly so. He was young. He's younger than I was, and it had come out that he had passed. Now, you guys know Magoo with that Q-tip like voice. I can just remember when they came out in the 90s. Now apparently Magoo, so was Mr. Magoo. It was Magoo. I don't think they called him Mr. Magoo, but I think I used to say Mr. Magoo just because of the cartoon, which ironically he was not named after the cartoon. People think that he was named after the Mr. Magoo cartoon, but it actually was named after an aunt who had that name. Well, it was longer. They shortened it up, and that's how he became Magoo. Fun fact. But anyway, now apparently Magoo and Pharrell and Timbaland, who was actually DJ Timmy Tim back then, and this other guy, somebody loved Lance Live, somebody. Who was the fourth person? Lance Live Child. Larry Live Lions. Larry Live Lions. They were all in this group called SBI. But the group didn't last. I guess this was back when maybe they were in high school age or something. But Magoo was still trying to go on with it. Everybody was still, you know, Timbaland, you had Pharrell, and you had Magoo, and plus they were all still trying to get their music careers off the ground. We know that Pharrell ended up being with the Neptunes and all them, but they were all from Virginia, so they were all like very closely, kind of like a close-knit group. So when that group didn't take, Magoo was still out there. He ended up linking up with Genuine and Missy, and he actually was the one that gave Missy Elliott her nickname Misdemeanor, because he told her that it was a crime that she was so talented, you know, so he called her Missy Misdemeanor Elliott, and that's how she ended up getting that name. But anyway, him and them and Tweet, and they all got together, and then, you know, they started producing music and all that. Him and Timbaland still rapped together in their group. You guys remember Love to Love You, and what was the other song that was pretty popular? I can't think of the other song, but you guys remember hearing his voice. It's so absurd. The verb is the word. It's the verb. He always sounded like Q-Tip. He said that he didn't like the comparison, that Q-Tip and Tribe Called Quest was like one of his favorite groups, but he didn't like the fact that people would compare them because he was not trying to be like Q-Tip. It was just that he couldn't help, that's how his voice was. He said that even Missy said that she laughed when she heard him just talking regular, like, you really sound like that? It was like, yeah, that's really my voice, you know. Apparently Magoo did not like the spotlight, did not like the fame. That he said that it just was not his thing. He did not like being known as like this rapper and all of that. So he ended up withdrawing himself kind of from the spotlight. Him and Timbaland didn't work together anymore. He's still been around. They said he still works in the music industry, but very much behind the scenes, low key, not trying to be in the spotlight or the fame or anything. So that's what he has been doing. We haven't really seen him in a long time, and then we found out that he died. So very, very sad, you guys. He does leave behind a wife and his stepdaughter, as well as his aunt and uncle who raised him, and he has some sisters. Okay, he was 50 years old. Rest in peace to Magoo.
And you cool, tatted up, cover wounds, different vibe, you know ain't pro, but you ain't even flexing.
All right, you guys, next story up. So it seems that, remember, just not too long ago, we were celebrating the fact that Tyler Perry had won the bid in the acquisition of BET. Remember, he was trying to get BET Plus, VH1, from Paramount Studios. Paramount Studios had felt like BET was, they didn't say, but they felt, I think they felt like BET was, wasn't bringing in any money, and so it wasn't really a positive cash flow for them or anything, so they were willing to offload it. And because we were in this quest to try to get BET back under like black control, we found out that there were a lot of black, mega millionaires out there that were trying to buy it. We had Puffy that was trying to do it. Tyler Perry, Byron Allen, I think Magic Johnson was a part of a group that was trying to do it. There were a lot of black folks, influential and very rich, black, powerful black people that were trying to get BET. I thought that Tyler Perry was a shoo-in for it, considering that Tyler Perry already is like high up on the whatever the board is on BET Plus. We know that he has a lot of shows that run over on BET, that he has a lot of creative control over at BET Plus. And so I was just like, oh, this is a no-brainer. We know that Tyler Perry has his own studios. He makes buku money. He could definitely afford it. That this could be potentially something very financially beneficial for him, to be over BET and all of that seemed like it was a win-win for him. And so they had announced that he had won and we were celebrating and everything. Well, now we find out that Paramount has pulled out of the sale. Well, I don't know if Paramount pulled out the sale, but what they're saying that happened was Tyler Perry, now apparently they were saying $2 billion. Tyler Perry said $2 billion, and then we thought that was going to be it. But it looked like Paramount went up on the price to $3 billion. And Tyler Perry was like, nah, you know what? Y'all going to keep y'all shit. Okay, I'm not giving another billion because, like I just told you guys, BET was not bringing in any money. So he's not going to, like, off the bat make money from it. They may even have some debt there that he would have to handle. So that means that he would accrue that if he ended up getting it. And now you telling me I got to give another $1 billion? You know what? Keep your fucking station. So I think that Tyler Perry decided not to give the extra $1 billion. And I think that the rest of the people, you know, once they probably got with their lawyers and they financial people and they really sat and looked at the bottom line of what BET Plus, VH1 and all them, they probably was like, it's not worth it. We've seen that I don't know what shows on BET. I have no clue. I don't watch BET. The only time that we watch BET in our house is when we watching Martin reruns, like literally. Or any rerun. If we're watching a rerun of a TV show, we'll watch it on BET, a black TV show. We'll watch it over there. But other than that, what else do they have over there? Their shows, those Tyler Perry shows, are they actually showing on BET or is it on BET Plus? But yeah, it's just sort of like nobody watches BET, nobody watches VH1. You know, all of the shows that was on VH1, they've all moved over to MTV. So what is happening over at VH1 too? I don't know what's happening there either. But I think that everybody probably got with they folks, they money people and they lawyers and all of that. And they decided that it was not worth more than the $2 billion that had already been offered. And then when Paramount is saying they're not going to sell it now. And now they're saying that even if they did offload the network, it still wasn't going to really change their bottom line one way or the other. Okay. And so they've decided that they were just going to go on and keep it. But some of that other stuff may have probably been figured into it as well. Yeah, and I guess I'm sure Tyler Perry is fine because I'm sure he can keep his $2 billion right to his damn self. You know, he's still doing more than well out here in Atlanta. His studio is huge. It's, you know, a lot of people use his studios. He ain't even got to work no more and he's still going to be getting paid. So I guess it's just like, well, we tried and I guess that's it. But something tells me that Paramount is not going to be lending any more energy or anything over to BET, and that just is really sad. It's just sort of like, well, what happens on BET? We just gonna be watching Sanford and Son reruns and Jefferson and Martin reruns over there? It's like y'all done became the new We TV, you know? No, so. But yeah, Tyler Perry was like, yeah, y'all ain't getting another not another fucking penny out of me Nigga, not even 2,000,000,001 cent. I said 2 billion, and if y'all can't take that, then just let the sale go. So that's what they did. They let the sale go. It will not be under black person control. It won't be under new control. It's going to continue to stay at Paramount Studios, at least for now.
And you ain't gotta try too hard. #1 fan, your side, your applause.
Next story up, you guys, that damn Taryn Manning. You guys remember Taryn Manning, who played what was her damn character's name on Orange is the New Black? Pennsatucky. Y'all remember she played Pennsatucky on Orange is the New Black, which was like she was like this crazy, like kind of fly by night girl who was messing with the men in the you guys remember her from Orange is the New Black? Okay, well, we figured that Taryn Manning was just playing a character, but now this new story makes us feel like maybe she was really just playing herself. So apparently Taryn Manning been seeing this guy. She been liking the guy been liking her. They've been spending time together or whatever. But she just now recently found out that the man is married. Something tells me the reason that she even did this video was really more so for the wife, but she put it on social media, so it's for all of us now. We all in the group chat, child. So she said that she had met this guy and that she had liked him, and everything was going well. And, you know, then she found out that he was married, and then he said that he couldn't leave his wife and all, and she just didn't understand. You know, she was like, he's been over here, he comes over here to me all the time. You know, I even licked his butthole, you know, because he liked it, and she didn't mind doing it. So she was like, she don't understand why is it that, you know, why she over here licking this man's butthole, you know, that he still is over here with the wife, you know, and she was feeling bad about the fact that, you know, the man had been played her and all of this. I saw that video and I was cracking up because she just kept on talking about him liking his booty hole licked. Well, then she comes out after a while, I guess after everybody had seen the damn video. She come out and she apologizes, you know, she apologizes for putting it out there that she was even messing with a married man, you know, that was not her intentions when she first met him. But you know how it is when you meet somebody, they don't tell you everything. You fall in love with them or fall for them, and then they start telling you all of this other shit. Now you all emotionally wrapped up in it and shit. So that's kind of where Taryn was coming from. But she said that she apologized, you know, to him, his wife. It's just that, you know, she couldn't get over the fact that she had been licking his booty hole and he still had decided to leave her. That girl is funny. It had just the straightest look on her face. I think that they said that the wife of whoever this guy is, and they didn't put the names out. She didn't say who the names were. If I research hard enough, I could probably find it, because, you know, people be in them comments be telling all the business, and one of her homegirls or somebody might have got in there and said. But she didn't say what their names were, but she said that the lady, or I read that the wife was thinking about getting a restraining order or had a restraining order or something like that. So this little affair that's been going on between the three of them has been going on for some time. And honey, I guess Taryn just couldn't take it no more. I said, girl, don't lick this booty hole. She said that he liked it and she didn't mind doing it. So yeah, girl, TMI.
Got me think about inside the walls. Words got deep, it's like a
And
swamp.
then lastly, you guys, in quickies, I am so mad at myself because I did not get the information. Well, I did do a little bit of research on this, but I wasn't able to really find out the full story. So you guys know Loretta, who has married Bishop Noel Jones. So I guess she's Loretta Jones now. She, you guys know, she is the long-suffering girlfriend of Bishop Noel Jones. Anybody that's from LA knows that. First of all, we ain't even knew nothing about Loretta until he went on to that pastor's reality show. That's when we were introduced to her. Before that, we knew that Bishop Noel Jones was kind of like a hot commodity. He was one of the hot tickets out there in LA. All of the women that were church-going women wanted to be with him. He was very much an eligible bachelor. Like I said, we didn't know about Loretta until the show, but I had heard here and there. First of all, it was always women that's always going to that church, you know, all dressed to the nines, sitting up there on that front pew up there trying to get his attention. Every now and then we would see that he was seeing somebody. Even at one time he was seeing Lisa Ray. I think Lisa Ray was trying to get them on a reality show together. So he has definitely dated a lot of women out there in LA, but he was able to maintain his bachelor status for like for that long time. I mean, he was like a single pastor, which you didn't see too much of in LA, of a mega church, and drove a Mercedes, lived in Malibu, like the whole, I mean, not a Mercedes, a Porsche, a 911 Porsche, okay, the OG Porsches. But he just was, the women did want him. So when Loretta finally did win the prize, we were shocked about that, you know. But I always felt that it was sort of like he didn't necessarily feel like he was in love with her. It was more so the fact that he realized that he was getting older. I think that he was even in a wheelchair, that he had like some back or leg issues or whatever, but he felt like now that he was older and he was going to need somebody to take care of him, now he's going to go on and marry Loretta. And I was just like, Bishop. Now, let me tell you, Bishop Noel Jones can preach down. You talking about a man that knows the Bible, knows the word. Bishop Noel Jones is that man. Okay. So a lot of people admire him, and for good reason. But when it comes to the affairs of the heart and these women, child, you know, it's always been some shit. But okay, Loretta won. So now we see him and Loretta together, and you know, she didn't change them up, you know, cleaned them up. I mean, he ain't never been a mess or nothing, but now he kind of dresses better. And I mean, she just, you know, and she must have a hat for every single outfit that she has. And she probably don't wear a hat every day. I mean, more than once, okay? Because we done seen her. She be in her full first lady fare, honey. Her first lady regalia. She gon', you know, she is definitely filling her position. Well, child, they said the other day at the church. Now, I'm not laughing because it's not funny. It's not funny, you guys. But apparently Loretta, I think church was out. And Loretta was up at the front of the church and, you know, was just kind of talking to maybe some of the other churchgoers and all. They said that Bishop Jones had gone to the back to change clothes, that he had just finished preaching. And apparently this woman walks up to her and I get, who was racing up and down the streets for all that nigga shit? We don't do that over here. What the fuck is that? I hear that loud ass car. Y'all gotta remind me to tell you guys about what. Oh, okay, he's not racing. Y'all have to remind me to tell y'all the story about Jada's friends and them Chargers one night. Child. Ooh, when I have more time, I'll tell you. But anyway, so the lady goes up to Loretta, and they said that the lady was screaming already before she got up to her. So I was thinking to myself, like, if the lady was already irate, why would they even let her get close to Loretta? But, you know, so maybe they thought that the lady was going to give her a hug. Or, you know, she is the first lady. This is church. Church just let out, you know. So, I mean, I can see how it would happen. But anyway, the lady walked up to her and punched Loretta. And they saying knocked her out cold, child. They said that the people started screaming like, no, 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 no. And that they was trying to get to the lady, and that security ended up getting the lady and hustling her out. So there's a video that shows, they don't have the video. I'm sure they probably do have a video when she got knocked out, because this is in the church. So I'm sure they had cameras in there and everything, but none of those videos have surfaced so far. But the video has come out when they hustled the lady out of the church. And they asked her, why did she do that? And the lady screamed out, yes, she's the one that punched Loretta because she gave her daughter cancer. Now, she said something else, but I couldn't understand it. I listened to it like 5 or 6 times, and I still couldn't understand what she said. But I did understand the part where she said, because she gave my daughter cancer. And I was like, what? I mean, we know that you can't get cancer. Is not a spreadable disease that I know of, you know. So I don't know what that means. And apparently she has a TikTok video explaining that she is the person that hit Loretta, but I haven't seen the whole video, so I'm not sure if she explains more in detail why she did what she did. But like I said, I wasn't able to really find out what was what. They, you know, the church community, when they want to, they know how to keep stories pretty close to the vest. But I'm sure that if I look more, I'd be able to find out more. But what y'all know about it? Y'all heard about Sister Loretta getting punched in the face? I was just like, no, we can't have that. You know, you ought to be safe at church. Now, we already know you ain't safe at churches. They robbing churches and they shooting up churches and everything. And apparently they fighting and beating up people at churches too. So I'm gonna need them to get more security around the folks, because I mean, nobody wants to see their first lady getting knocked the hell out cold at church, child. That's terrible. Anybody know more about that story? Any of my LA rock stars that go to I was about to say Church of the Harvest. It's not Church of the Harvest. It's City of Refuge. Anybody out there go to City of Refuge still? I used to go to City of Refuge before they were City of Refuge, when they were still in Inglewood. Well, before they even was in Inglewood, they was over on the east side, and then they moved and all of that stuff, you guys. So yeah, I've known them women been trying to get, honey. They've been trying to get to Bishop for a long time. I don't know if any of that has anything to do with it too. Well, she said it was cancer, so it's about the daughter. But if y'all know more about that story, y'all go on and throw it down there and let us know. The people was mad at Lionel Richie. Apparently Lionel Richie had a show scheduled for Madison Square Garden, which is a big show. And he was supposed to perform last Saturday. Now, you know, we've been having, even though it is hot, extremely hot in the majority parts of the United States, there's also been a lot of bad weather, a lot of storms, raining and everything. So apparently Lionel Richie, I'm assuming he probably was coming from the West Coast, coming to perform out there at Madison Square Gardens, and because the weather was so bad, he did not get to perform. He said that both God and the pilot had said no, and you guys know what happens when the pilot says no and God says no. That means that there will be no movement, no flying of people across the United States to get to said concert. So they canceled the concert, which was not that bad, except for the people was already there, and it was already an hour after the concert was supposed to have started. So yeah, I would have been pissed. First, I would have been mad that they canceled, but you know, shit happens and I understand that. But I would have been mad that I was actually at the venue and seated and waiting for the show to start. And now because y'all mean to tell me y'all did not know that this man wasn't going to make it before an hour after the show started? Y'all should have been canceled that shit. Now, was he still trying to get there at 9 and 10 o'clock at night? Because what was we going to do at this time of the night? You know, these venues got to close up. You can't just be partying and celebrating and concerting all night. So why you waited till 8, 9 o'clock to tell these damn people that the shit was canceled? I'd have been the maddest about that. I done drove down there, got dressed, and I could have stayed right at the house. You could have sent out an email earlier that day and said it ain't gonna happen. Okay, they did reschedule, and it was just rescheduled till a couple of days later. So it was on Saturday. They ended up doing it on Monday. He apologized profusely. He said that he apologized 1,000 times over, but because he was told he couldn't make it, there's nothing he can do. He said he gonna make it up for them at this concert, and you know, the people was happy to see him singing all night long, all night long. Have you guys heard the way he sings it now? He don't never say long. He says long. Next time you guys hear Lionel Richie sing all night long, you guys are gonna pick that up. All night long. Yeah, no harm, no foul. I mean, you know, the people were still, I guess if you wanted your money back, you can get your money back. But he did finally make it out there to entertain the people just a couple of days later. But yeah, next time, please let us know before I done drove all the way down here. Another story that we found out, Lizzo has been slowly suffering the repercussions from this lawsuit. Now, she hasn't been found guilty on anything. This lawsuit ain't even made it to court yet, you guys. I mean, we just know about the charges that were filed, but it looks like people are starting to quietly drop her from things. Now, we know that the Made in America tour the Made in America Fest that Jay-Z gives every year, that has been canceled. Lizzo was the headliner. She was a co-headliner for that show, her and SZA. But they ended up canceling the show because of extreme circumstances that were beyond their control, which means this lawsuit. And now we find out that Lizzo has been dropped from consideration for the Super Bowl. Now, they hadn't told her that she was going to be performing at the Super Bowl. They still haven't said who was going to perform. People was asking for Usher. And so we'll see if Usher becomes a person. I think Usher will be a great Super Bowl halftime show. But Lizzo was also in the running. And now they're saying that they have dropped her from consideration, which is, this is not good. Remember, I told you guys last week, I was like, even if we find out, I mean, only way that this helps Lizzo is if we find out overwhelmingly that the dancers lied, that this didn't happen, you know, that Lizzo was innocent or something like that. But the damage has already been done. And I don't know if she can recover from this. This is a very huge mark on her brand, like a huge mark on her brand. We've seen this happen with other celebrities. You know, all you got to do is put the idea out there. That's what makes these things so scary. But usually the only way that these stories stick is if somebody is able to prove it. And Lizzo and her team have been pretty quiet. I mean, she did come out and say that it wasn't true, that it was ridiculous, the rumors and all of that. But they have been generally, to me, I don't know, maybe their strategy is just to try to like not say much about it so that the people forget about it. It's not like in the forefront of our minds. But I don't know. It was such a huge splash when the story came out. I kind of feel like Lizzo needs to get to the point where she's fighting it at a huge splash like that too, because otherwise they are really ruining her career, like ruining her look, her image, her brand, all of that. You know, I used to see the damn commercials for her brand, her leisure wear, her athleisure wear and all that. I used to see the commercials on Instagram all the time. I don't even see those anymore. So I don't know, you guys, but this ain't looking too good for your girl. Next story, you guys are saying that Shirley Strawberry's husband is out of jail, but I wasn't able to find anything on it. I mean, I kept on looking. Ernesto, you guys know that is Shirley Strawberry's husband, the one that Steve Harvey had introduced her to him, and they ended up getting married, and he been out there doing all kind of fraudulent shit, trying to tell people he was helping them with their business and was taking money from people, and he just got a whole bunch of shit going on. Anyway, they had ended up putting him in jail because they thought that he was a flight risk. And I thought that he was going to stay in jail, but somebody said in my comments that he's out of jail. But like I said, I couldn't find any information on that. As far as the social media websites are saying he's still in jail. So unless y'all know more about it, if you do, you can let me know. But as far as I know, he's still in jail. And then lastly, you guys, congratulations are in order to our girl Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. You guys, mama named him, what I said his name was? Well, I want to say it's a cool little name. And I was going to say Sebastian, but that ain't it. Mama named him Rakim Athelston Mayers. Oh, that's what they named the baby, the little boy. His name is Riza Athelston Mayers. I'm not saying his middle name right, I'm sure, but they gave the baby ASAP Rocky's middle name too. But the little boy, you guys remember she had a little boy last year, May of 2022. Now she has a little girl in August. Well, we don't even know, because you guys know Rihanna could have had that baby some weeks ago, and now we're just finding out about it. That's what happened with the little boy. So we don't know, but we think she was born somewhere between July and August, and we don't have a name for her yet. It probably will take some time. It took over a year for us to find out the little boy's name, so Or we found out right when he turned a year. So maybe that'll probably be the same with the little girl. I don't know if they haven't named her, if we just don't know what the name is. But yet and still, congratulations to the happy couple. Who would have ever thought that I actually would like grow to like ASAP Rocky? I liked him, then I didn't, but now it looks like I'm liking them again. And they seem so happy in their little family. So good for them. I know y'all still waiting on the album and the possible tour from your girl Rihanna, but I think I can tell you right now. Oh, and Mama named her Robin Fenty, by the way. But I can tell you guys at this point, Rihanna is probably in full mommy mode. There won't be any music for some time. She did come out with a maternity line with her Savage X Fenty brand. So there's that. Okay, go over there and buy you, some maternity wear. But other than that, probably won't be getting too much from Rihanna for a minute. That's okay though, because we love to see the girl happy, and she seems to be happy in mommy mode with her little boy and her little girl and her man. So congratulations.
All of these women, they not on your level. You like a mix of business and pleasure.
Alright, you guys, that is it. Get on off of here. I'm gonna get this edited and scheduled for tomorrow. Okay, we do this every single week, so make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.
But you ain't even flexing. But you ain't even flexing. But you ain't even flexing. But you ain't even flexing.